Hello, we are back for another daily mentor message, and it happens to be Independence Day. It is the 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, people. It's also my 59th birthday. And why I tell you that, because I'm going to again have another conversation with myself. We're going to get a little real today, and I'm inviting you all to listen. But keep in mind, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to myself, and I'm sharing my thoughts, and you can listen in if you want. But as I said, today is my 59th birthday. I've been around long enough to see a very significant transition in what is acceptable and what is considered offensive by people. When I was a kid, back in the 70s, every Saturday I'd wake up and watch cartoons, Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig and Daffy Duck and Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner and who else? Yosemite Sam and Rhode Island Red, the big old rooster who I think was from Louisiana. And he would say stuff like, "Boy, you about as sharp as a bowling ball." And then he'd get blown up with some dynamite and he'd say, "Fortunately, I keep my feathers numbered for just such an emergency." But there was violence, there was comedy, but nobody got their panties in a wad over it. Nobody took offense to those kinds of things. I remember watching Sanford and Son and watching Fred Sanford and Lamont, his son, go back and forth and back and forth, and Aunt Esta, and how they would just go back and forth at each other and say some pretty hilarious things, or watching the Jeffersons, or watching All in the Family when Meathead and Charlie and Archie Bunker would go at it, or George and Wheezy Jefferson would go at it, and it was funny comedy, and they would say some offensive stuff. At least to today, I don't even think those shows would be able to make it on TV nowadays because people would be so offended by it. I realized how crazy this had gotten when we were watching our grandson, Connor, and watching the Disney Channel, and there were warning labels on the Disney Channel cartoons that may be offensive to some viewers. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. How paper thin has our skin gotten that we are offended by things? I mean, come on, people. We have freedom of speech, but people, and I started to see a transition. So when I was a kid, I played baseball, I played football, I played basketball. From the time I was 5 years old, there was a winning team and there was a losing team. If you won the championship, you got a trophy. If you took second place, you got nothing. But no kids were crying and needed therapy and had to go to counseling over losing. That's life, my friends. We started seeing the increase of people going to counseling and getting their feelings hurt and having all kinds of issues when everybody started getting a trophy. Every team got a trophy. Every player on every team got a trophy. They didn't even keep score anymore. In Little League Baseball, there's no strikes, there's no balls. Everybody just gets up and gets a hit. They don't even keep score. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I saw the problems coming. And now those kids are adults. And somebody has a tweet. It's a mean tweet. They go absolutely off the charts, Richter scale measured crazy. Some of the stuff you see nowadays, people just absolutely losing their stuff. Those are probably the kids who got trophies just for participating. And I'm not being critical. I'm just saying we stopped preparing people for real life a while ago. And we started creating a whole multiple generations of people that cannot take it when it's tough. And when things get tough, they lose their crap. And that's not cool. But the key is that we do have, and I respect the fact that they have the right to be that way. They have the right to say those kinds of things. But I also look back in retrospect and say we created what we have right now. Because everybody gets a trophy and everybody's feelings matter and don't say anything. This whole political correct stuff was just insane, and I still think it's insane. And because I'm exercising my First Amendment right, freedom of speech, you may disagree with me, and that's perfectly okay. I will still love you. I will still honor you. I will still respect you. I will still invite you over my home for dinner, and I will still keep you as a friend on Facebook. I'm not going to block you. I'm not going to unfriend you. I'm not going to criticize you. I'm not going to go on to your posts and make mean comments. I'm just not. Because I'm going to respect the fact you have a right to your own opinion. You've earned that right. But I may think, I totally think differently. and we can have an intellectual, respectful conversation about it. And I'm basing these things on, and I looked up some scripture prior to recording this today because I want to put things in context, at least from me, where I get my values and why I think this way. I was brought up in a very strict household. If you did something wrong or disobeyed mom or dad, they bent you over there and they smacked you with a belt or a wooden spoon or a coat hanger. Or my stepdad even got a 2x4, cut a handle on it, wrapped it with electrical tape, drilled holes in it for more wind resistance or less wind resistance so he could swing it faster, and smacked us on the butt with it. That was a normal part of childhood. We also we would listen to mom and we would listen to dad because we didn't want to get spanked. It worked pretty dang well for us. I'm not losing my crap. I'm not in counseling. I don't have issues. So I respect the fact that I was brought up that way. It says very clearly in the Bible, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And here we are. In today's world where kids just say what they want, when they want, and no one cares. I cannot believe the stuff I hear, the way children talk to their parents, young children, and how they talk to their siblings in public. It makes me want to go crazy. And just like, I cannot believe this has happened. One, I can't believe the parents would ever let a child talk to them that way. And I can't believe the kids talk that way. It's just crazy. But I want to read a couple scriptures and where I believe we started to go off the rails and because we got away from it, and where I think we can get back. So the first one is Proverbs 18:21. And it says this: life and death are in the power of the tongue. In other words, you can say things to lift someone up, or you can say things to literally kill somebody or make them want to kill themselves. We see that in bullying all the time. So be careful what you say, my friends. Be respectful of what you say. It says clearly in Ephesians chapter 4 that speak the truth in love. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm speaking the truth in love because I love you. I honor you. I respect you. But I'm calling upon you to just use a little control, use a little decorum, use a little wisdom, use a little respect, and honor the people that you're talking to, and use this as your guide. This is the one I want to end with, and it's James 1:19. And it says this: my dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. So quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Today, people listen only until they hear a trigger word and then they snap and they respond. So people in a conversation, a civil, respected conversation among adults, even when we see it in our Congress, we see it in our Senate board meetings, we see it in the commissions, those stuff that we see meeting on TV, they're grown adults slandering each other. I was like, come on, grow up a little bit. Listen to what they're trying to say before you respond back. And here's the great methodology of doing this. Listen to understand. Listen to understand. Do not listen to respond. Because we could learn so much from each other if we would just listen respectfully. You have a right to your opinion, and I have the honor to listen to your right and your opinion. I mean, I'd agree with it, and I'll tell you why I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to tell you you're a lunatic. I'm not going to unfriend you. And if you're my mom or my brother or my sister, I'm not going to say you're not welcome in my house anymore. But I see that kind of stuff happening all the time, and it breaks my heart. And this is, I'm just asking you, please, 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 listen to each other with respect. Listen to each other with the intention of finding mutual common ground. Name calling, finger pointing, slandering, making crazy posts, going off the hinge, making interviews and making other people look bad and putting people down. It was good comedy, but in real life, it doesn't work. And it just triggers people. But we are so thin-skinned. Everybody gets triggered at everything. It's okay to disagree. In fact, if everybody agreed, do you realize how boring and how miserable our life would be? Good debate is necessary. Good, respectful, heartfelt, meaningful debate is necessary. Let's just start having that again. Let's get back to a civil society where we listen to each other, where we honor each other. Because for 248 years, this country has had two major parties. And those major parties disagree with each other on many things. But we've never gotten to the place that we're at now, where all we're talking about is how crazy the other side is, how stupid everything they think is, no respect at all. Name calling, name calling, name calling. My friends, my fellow Americans, my fellow people with hearts and consciences and the desire to just love people, I invite you to go vote. Vote for your morals. Vote for your ethics. Vote for your beliefs. And listen to people who have those things that are different than yours. You might learn something about them and why they think that way, but don't automatically write them off. Don't unfriend them. It breaks my heart when I see that kind of behavior, because we are all human beings. Whether we're blue or red politically, you cut us, we're going to bleed the same color red. Whether we're Christians or atheists, you cut us, we're going to bleed the same color red. It doesn't matter. When an atheist and a Christian loses a loved one, they grieve the same. Their heart is broken the same. We are so much more alike than we are different. Let's focus on our alikenesses, if that's a word. Let's focus on the thing that bring us together, not the minutia that tears us apart, because that's what's happening right now. The world is literally coming off its hinges, and it'll probably spin out of control and off its rotation of axis if we don't change, if we don't start respecting each other again. So let's take this Independence Day, a day in the United States that we respect and honor our freedoms. Let's give ourselves the freedom to be civil again. Let's give ourselves the freedom and the right to be decent human beings again. Honor the people who think differently than you. Pray for them. Vote differently than them. That's okay. But don't unfriend them. Don't slander them. And will this video today make a difference? I don't know. But if you found any value in it at all, or if you find any sound logic in this conversation I'm having with myself, share it with people. Because I think it's about time we really, really look at what does it mean to be free. And if we were this way 248 years ago, we would have stopped being free a long time ago, because we've got to get back together. We've got to get back to what we all have in common. And that is a love for people, a love for our country, a love for life itself, a love for our planet. Let's start treating each other like that. Let's not focus on the little things we disagree on, because it's tearing us apart. All right, I love you. I respect you. I honor you. And I may lose friends for this. I may gain friends for this. I didn't make this to lose or gain friends. I made this video to have a conversation with myself. It's because there's things that meaning me, myself, and I, the three of us, there's things that we're tired of seeing. And it's people disrespecting themselves just because they can. Use your freedom of speech to hold back. Use your freedom of speech to listen and not say things. All right? Have a great day. Take care. God bless. Happy Independence Day. Happy 4th of July. And if you're Spock, go forth and prosper, or however that goes. I don't know why that came to my head. Anyway, have a great day. Take care. God bless. See you soon.